G'day folks, here she is, full flight. We had a photographer, often comes down to club days and he'll take pictures of all the cars. He's a great photographer and he's caught a snap of the big beast on song down the back straight. And look at the flame out the back. And the mod father's sitting in there in deep concentration. That, guys, is a fantastic picture and that memory will last a lifetime. So, yes, it's excellent. It's fantastic. Alright, well, I've been busy. The beast carrier is well under construction. I've been busy on it. I've put diagonal braces through to tighten up the frame. You can see in the front there, that tightens that spot up to stop it from moving. And then we've put a diagonal brace on the slope. And then on the roof, we've gone across right from one corner back to the other. And then on the back half of it, we've got either side, nice diagonals running that way. So we've braced it all up and it shouldn't flex. And I've been standing on it, trying to twist it. I've actually had the jack under at one corner to see if there's any twist, and no, she's nice and solid. So it's coming, or it's getting close to wanting the sheeting on it. And I've got that on order, so I'll do an update on that as I move on with it. So it's going to look really nice, I think. The back awning, well, the back door will be hinged from the top, but it's going to be a structural part of the frame as well, because the back will move that way. So we're going to build a square frame and then we're going to diagonal it either side. And I'll show you the guys. Look, I was up at the trailer, my trailer, or the local trailer business, and I was looking at hinges, and he doesn't really have a hinge that I'm felt comfortable with. So Griff, the mod father, has fabricated his own. I have an inner tube and an outer, and yes, I've obviously cut the outer either side, so that will be welded to one part, or the fixed part, and this can be welded to the door. So we've got, they're all greased. That's inch across, outer diameter. So I've made 6 of them up, 4 on the back door and 2 on this side one. So yeah, so I sort of had to think a bit for that one, and I wanted a really solid hinge, because the back awning, it's going to want to, sort of do that to try and, or that'll, to keep the back from moving. So you want a really solid hinge that's not going to, over time, wear out, and that won't. It'll be very solid. So it cost me hardly anything, just a bit of time. Very happy with it, guys. I'll show you all as I go on with it. Once I get the 2 doors done, and just before I clad it, with the cladding, I'll show you the cladding and show you what I'm going to do. And yes, and I'll show you the mechanism on the door, and because I've got a couple of little tricks up my sleeve to make it nice and solid at the bottom too, and I'll show you once I get moving on with that. And once I've built it, I'll show you how it all sort of works. But no, very happy with it, guys. Very happy. It's come together beautifully. I've gone through the argon. I tell you, I'm chewing it up. It's unbelievable. But, that's what it calls for. That's what it calls for. Oh, and another little thing too, guys. My bushes, rear bushings for lower control arm off the diff have turned up. These are polyurethane. I've got a polyurethane bushing on the top of my diff. When I bought the diff years ago, they supplied me with a polyurethane bushing, and The bottom rubber ones are completely, they're just worn out. They're not completely slogged out, but the rubber's really starting to, you can see it's sort of, I'll show you when I pull it out too, guys, how worn it is. But these ones, I'm in two minds with them, guys. They are a fantastic, I think they're a fantastic upgrade, but I have been told they're not very successful up the front part of the car, around near the engine, if they get a little bit warm. Apparently they can get a little bit soft, but apparently they're quite successful down the back half of the car, but they don't recommend you run them up the front because heat does affect them. And I assume too rubber would be, but I think these ones are a little bit more susceptible to heat. But in that state they are now, room temperature, they're unbelievably stiff. So it'll be interesting to see. You can sort of get a bit of a judgment on it when you leave it in park and rock the car backwards and forwards, and it'll give you an idea of any diff sort of movement. And at the minute, it's actually, you can notice it. And it'll be interesting to see how much these sort of take up that bit of movement. Alright folks, well, my next video will be on the specs of that car. I'm pumped to do it, guys, I really am. And it's going to take a few episodes because the more I think about it, there's so much done to that car, it's unbelievable. So we'll break it down into 3 or 4 videos, and I want to show you too, not just sort of talk about it and gloss over the car. Like I want to show you the turbo, the specs on that, the weight, like the whole thing, because then you get an understanding for the guys that don't know great, or haven't gone into great depth with the car and sort of want to know. I'll share it all, because there's nothing to hide, guys. It's all there for the taking. There's nothing secret about what I'm doing. It's just the good combination, doing it right the first time. And there was a guy that commented and said, well, knowledge is power. And that's very true, guys. If you've got the knowledge, you can produce the power and the reliability. But without it, unfortunately, it costs a lot of money. Alright folks, well that's enough of my little bit of ramble on. Well into the trailer, very stoked with it, and I'll pop another one up soon, guys. Catch yous later.